It's totally booze.
It is. They have I hadn't gotten it this year, but they rotate in usually a good stout. They have a good stout. Before them, it was the one that had the best stout was the one that just went out of business in Kittery there. I forget the name of it. Oh, what the heck is it? Oh, it will come to me.
It's your favorite, apparently.
Well, it used to be, but then they just I think the head brewer passed away. So like it was just the transition kind of died off.
Out in
They were right next to the Starbucks in Kittery. And they also have a Portland location, like right near where Battery Steel.
So you had Allagash, Battery Steel, Austin.
Definitive.
Okay.
That's what it was.
They're done?
In Kittery, yeah. They're done in Kittery. I don't know about done totally in Portland, but they started in Portland and that was their offshoot.
Because that's where, like when... I'm sorry.
One of the best cold opens ever. Literally a cold open. Crack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll talk about it.
So, Tim, you said we have the best dual career agent coming on. And how does he do it? Alcohol. That's how he starts. Welcome in. It is Coffee with a Capper. We do have the Nathan Fredette here to talk about everything he does. You showed up the other night at the gala with your wife. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, there's a fourth on the way. So, and I asked you politely, my late father would always ask, have you figured out what's causing it? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, and I'm putting a stop to it. So have we decided is 4 going to be it?
Yo, yeah.
Are we going Brady Bunch? What are we just going to keep?
It would have been 3, but you know.
But what?
It's too much fun having kids. So,
are you wearing the safety orange hat so she can see you coming now?
Exactly.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You can't sneak up on her anymore? Dear God.
Oh, my God. No, that's why he's not cutting his hair. She's going to be like, nope.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Less attractive. Well, that's not hard.
Yeah, we've got Brad Kelly in-house from Movement Mortgage. Somebody's calling. This is always disconcerting. Hang on a second. Hello? Yeah? Yeah. No, that's not doing that.
Who's that?
It said it's got to be somebody calling from North Conway, but it's in there as Kirsten Blake.
Oh.
So I thought we had an audio or video emergency, but somebody just started saying Mr. Lindsay. I'm like, that's not a thing.
Hey, be careful what you say. They're tracking your voice. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get.
We'll talk about AI.
We'll get into that. Anyway, apologies to the person I just hung up on. I thought it was an emergency. It's not an emergency. There are no real estate emergencies. We'll talk about that at some point too. So to get started, we'll have Brad Kelly from Movement Mortgage talk about all things real estate. If you want to talk about the numbers,
all things real estate. That's a lot of pressure, buddy.
What can we blame on you this week?
No,
it's the market. It's Brad's fault.
No, I gotta tell you, I don't know what you guys are seeing, but it seems like it's picking up. It's fairly busy out there. I mean, you guys are seeing. Just got back from our regional summit, which was awesome. They actually put me on stage today.
I was just gonna say,
we all make choices in life.
Everybody's like, interesting choice. Yeah. What? So obviously,
your favorite tagline was actually on the slide.
What was that?
About Kelly. What's
the best part about Brad Kelly is Kelly?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, they all love that too.
That's
they
fantastic.
thought that was great. Yeah, no, it was good. We were just talking about our team and how smooth our process is and stuff like that, and how there's a lot of other people that we work with that
you're not on stage if you're not doing well for Movement.
Yeah,
so I'll ask the question, then you can just answer it. That way you're not bragging. I'm just asking. So out of all of the groups in the United States, where do you guys fall as a team?
That I don't know. That Movement's big. Yeah, they're big. Last year we were number 7 for New England, which is pretty good. There's definitely there's a couple guys. There's one down in Connecticut and one in Rhode Island. They're like 1 and 2 in their states. They have way more energy than I have at my age. They're younger kids, the younger lads that are like slaying it. So that's not my world. But
you're busy building outdoor kitchens.
Yeah, no, I'm busy working hard enough, right? No, I mean, I don't want it to come across that way, but like I can't even imagine one of the guys, like the numbers he's putting up, and he's got like 2 assistants. Like I'm like, there's no way. Like you never sleep, and they don't. You can tell. Once you meet them, they don't. They're just that guy. But we hold our own. We do well. The biggest thing is our ops department loves us. Because we put together a good loan and it's smooth and everything closes as it's supposed to, and that's I don't like stress.
So when you say, just so the agents understand, when you say your ops department, you're talking about underwriting, you're talking
Yeah.
about your compliance team that's making sure
Well,
you guys are dotting I's, crossing T's, and doing everything right.
underwriting process. Well, Kelly does the processing. Underwriting, the processing manager, our underwriting managers, like they're fans, and I mean, and yet again, a lot of it's Kelly, but a lot of it's the team and the process, and making sure that we do things a certain way so that, when that approval comes out, people are like, oh, I got a conditional approval. What are the conditions? How do I clear them? And we're like, oh, it's like, we're waiting for the appraisal to come in. We're waiting for title to come in. We got to order your insurance binder now. Like, and we need you to explain this old address that you lived at or something stupid like that. Like we're not a come out of underwriting and, oh no, we got a problem kind of people. Like that stresses us out. So, that's basically that. But I mean, not to talk about our team too much. I'm going to take up too much of Nathan's time here. But one thing I did want to put out there, we just rolled a new product or a new investor. And I'll tell you, we'll see how long it lasts. But if you've got a second home or investment property, or you know anybody, and you got a conventional loan that's in the 7s or higher, give me a shout, because this place is super aggressive for second home and investment properties. Like, we're basically, everybody I know is like, okay, let's refinance that, because it's the rates are very, very aggressive. So when I say aggressive, I mean, for that type of product, something in the, mid to low 6s is insane right now. So, they're solid. So if you got something, you want me to take a look at, I'd love to take a look at it.
Perfect. Thank you, Brad. 603-396-3198. If you're looking for Brad and his team.
My phone number.
His marketing team, you let us see didn't mention because
they don't like me as much.
It's not his best skill. He's like, hi, I'm Brad. I do stuff here.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Enjoy your lunch.
With like working with you, some of the simplest things that you guys implement are still far way better than some of the competitors, because it saves a conversation, saves an email, saves a phone call. And that's what we're looking to do half the time, because it keeps our boots on the ground, like doing different things. Like now I know that one of my clients is working with you because I got an email about it. I was like, great. It's like, I don't have to follow up about like, oh, the loan app started and stuff, because some people don't pay attention to that, like insert in the purchase and sale of like, we'll fill out loan app in 5 days. I'm like, oh, here's like a start. Like if I needed full proof, I know I could get it, but like that's like tells me you're on the right track. So.
Do you do that in New Hampshire? That's always been my question. Maine, I know it's required, right? But do you with your clients, do you do that regularly? Do you provide that letter?
I push it. I don't grab the letter, but I push to get some sort of coverage that it's been done in case we ever run into that issue where it comes up.
Yeah, I just ask for preference reasons. Obviously, we don't want to send extra paperwork to you, but like obviously we get the notifications and things like that go out. But it's easy to put that step in. Like we have the letter for all the Maine files. It's just change the address.
Yeah, Maine, like Maine's definitely more consistent about asking it. It comes and goes in New Hampshire more so. The letter that I get asked for most is the one that's like the final. Like, hey, we're done. The financing contingency date is here, and we're at where we're at.
And that's the key. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, we want that in New Hampshire to be as clean as possible, because nobody wants contingencies.
So, for everyone's understanding, like I'm going to ask you what I've always asked everybody, is like, get us from high school graduation to the point where you decide real estate's going to be part of your life, just so people can understand. And you got to pepper in, obviously, that there's heritage in your family too, and all that kind of stuff. So just bring everybody up to speed on who Nathan Fredette is.
Yeah. I mean, I graduated college. We can start from there, like, because that's really where the real world was starting to kick in. 2007, and looming loan debt.
Was it business major?
No, I was a history major at St. Ace. So it's St. Anselm College over in Goffstown, Manchester. It's technically both towns and stuff. Great school, but yeah, I mean, with a history degree, I kind of took a path where my father was already in real estate, suggested to get my license, and I did. And, for the first year, it was a tire kicking experience. And then, the collapse happened. So it was good to be part of that from the perspective of seeing foreclosures, going through the foreclosure process on like, a purchase and sale, just because it's a lot, it's a little bit daunting. And just seeing foreclosures, like when you look at the market, like today, like how many do you see, right? Like it's not something that you're familiar with, but there were foreclosure tours out of the Manchester office that Christine Witten used to run. And you get in the van, you go, and you look at all these ones. And I remember, like, you know, I went to one showing this wasn't part of the van tour, but there were like squatters in a house.
Yep.
And there was copper missing from like houses. Like, you just saw fire damage. They're just, you know, people were losing their homes, and on the way out, like, things happened, or people saw an opportunity and, you know, they took advantage of it. So it was interesting to be a part of the market during that time. So that, like, that was slow. And it was just like, it's funny. You have that experience of you getting out of your license class and you're like, oh, great. Like, let's go. And then all of a sudden you just see everything crumbling down in front of you. And you're like, oh, 1,000 people got their licenses. And the next year was like 100. It was like dropped off. Everybody's like, well, real estate's not the game. So,
well, but probably to your credit, you had at least some historical data from your father. Like, this is going to happen again and again. And I mean, and not to the certain magnitude that it God willing, you know, we won't see what we saw in that rush. But I love that you brought the copper thing, because I remember just helping people understand, because young couples always want to go get that REO deal. Like, yeah, but the price. I'm like, well, we should. And Nate beat into me like, please encourage them to do an inspection first. For their informational purposes only, so they know what they're up against. I'm like, well, what do we need? Well, I said we should gain entry to the house. You should take a look around. And we had a great inspector. He's like, if 10 minutes in these kids get scared, I won't charge you. We can go get lunch. And we had that happen a couple times. But I remember saying to them, well, you're going to want to know if there's plumbing. And like, what do you mean? I totally forgot about that. Like, oh, all the copper's gone.
When you flush the toilet or when you turn on the heat, you just want to make sure it's not just like spitting water out.
What happened to all the plumbing? I don't know. Why is the basement window broken? I don't know.
It kind of actually brings, it's a circle around to, and it's a good conversation around my favorite topic lately is around personal property. People renting personal property on contract. How much stuff was left in those houses when you walked through them?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like everything. I mean, junk wise. But like stuff that was of value, zero.
Exactly.
The fridge was gone. And it's like, well,
the most heart wrenching, we had one with, out in Rochester, God bless our late friend Bob. And I'm in there with him looking around. He's like, come take a look at it. Before your clients come to see it. And we're just standing there at the kitchen island, and they just left, and all the open unpaid bills on the kitchen island. Like, you're just sort of standing there. You're standing there in somebody's absolute destruction. It was just so heart-wrenching. He's like, and he's like, I'm going to eventually bring somebody in to do all this, but just, you should know that this is all here. You know, we're not going to have them staring at their personal information, but all this stuff is here. Like, this is what it looks like, because people just pieced out. Like, you'd find this is disgusting, but here we go. I mean, just like the bowl of cereal. Like, wow, they made a decision during breakfast to start the car and leave. It's crazy.
It wasn't Margin Call. It was the other one that was like super popular with Christian Bale. Like, they go into one of the houses in, I forget, they did a visit to Florida or Texas. The gully. It's the gully. And they walk into the house and they're like, dude, there's like stuff on the counter. It's like, it's sad.
That was with Steve Carell and the crew. I can't think of the name either. Such a great movie. And heartbreaking at the same time. So you're in, when do you, because obviously, and you're still doing it, and I've been saying it for so long, and I realize now that we're about to have I'm going to be godfather. You can do it. It's fine. Timothy's a wonderful name. Fourth kid, which is crazy, because I remember saying when you guys were like young and single, you were so excited because you were able to pay for your wedding and your honeymoon with the real estate money. And I tell people that alongside doing the Biberty Mutual thing. And I don't say that out of disrespect. I just don't want to. I'm not using their name, so they can't get mad at us. When did you start to figure out that you weren't going to go full? Did you always know real estate wasn't eventually going to take over, and you were just going to stay there and do that as, respectfully, a side hustle, because you help more families than most full-time realtors? I'm using my air quotes, full-time realtors. So when did you make the decision that you were going to just keep doing both?
I don't think I ever did. I think it was just always the comparative nature of like, what am I bringing in and what's the difference between the two? And then more so, real estate gave me a social aspect that I didn't get with working in IT. So that was fun. It kind of allowed me to organically be
even myself. Your energy dropped a little bit when you mentioned working in IT.
Like
all the light left your eyes.
it feels organic. So like that's where the continued road down the path of dual career has just stayed, static in a way, is because I just don't feel the pressure, and I can be myself. And Yeah, and I felt like for me personally, that's not everybody. I would lose maybe my genuineness with the prospect of going full time real estate. I don't think that's necessarily true, but I keep telling myself that so that I stay kind of in this mode.
Yeah.
But I'm comfortable, and I haven't felt the need to make the change. But it's kind of like when I talk to new agents or like agents that are thinking about teams or thinking about coming off teams and stuff. It's like, what are you bringing in on your own versus what the team's giving you, and weigh that proposition. Like that's a battle they have to have with themselves.
Yeah.
And I have a similar one, just in a different way of like, what's going to make me profitable for the lifestyle that, we need for this many kids and stuff like that. And, I've been able to maintain both,
So help connect the dots for me and everybody else.
Yep.
You history major at Thomas Aquinas. Was that the intention there to go like a political science route and politics? And I don't think that's necessarily where your head would be. Were you pursuing law? Like, how do we end up in IT at Liberty Mutual?
No, that's a good question. So law was going to be the eventual landing ground. I did a discovery exercise post graduation, and I talked to a bunch of attorneys, and two of them kind of gave me consistent advice. They're like, before you go to law school, make sure that you really want to do that. Go get a job, go work for a year. I don't care if it's at a landscaping company, a chef in a kitchen, which I did do the cooking in the kitchen thing and stuff. And I kind of did that exploration and got my real estate license, and then got the other job too. And I just, found that, hey, I don't feel that I need to go down this trajectory of law school anymore. I lost the passion for it because I would have had to really strap in and then like deal with the application process, deal with denial and all those other things that happen. Like I wasn't valedictorian, so, I was weighing all those options.
That explains the 4 kids. Your wife knows that you don't want denial. So she just keeps, all right, fine, fine.
So what was that, like 2005, 6, 7?
2007 and 2008. Yeah.
Okay.
So by 2008, I was like, I have jobs. I am making money. I was like, I kind of like this path that I'm on. So it was a no brainer at that point in time. To go back to school and then be in more debt and stuff. I couldn't, and my loans were already starting to kick in, and I was just like, man, like I gotta do something. And it was like, more school was not the solution for me.
One of my dear friends in Chelmsford went all the way through undergrad, did his law stuff at BU, passed his bar, and he was like, meh.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's at Carnegie Mellon now. He's like a dean at Carnegie Mellon, but like he said, meh.
Yeah.
Just walked away from it. He's like, no, don't want that actually. So yeah, I appreciate that you took some time to figure out that it made sense or didn't make sense or.
But you take aspects that I like of law and you bring it into real estate.
Sure.
I mean,
it's applicable for
I
sure.
feel like over the last 5 years, and I feel like I've heard Jason say this, is that it's getting more legal every day. Like what you write down is more important than ever because it's not like we're doing it handwritten in triplicate anymore.
Yeah.
It's
5 copies, press hard. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And when, we were in this, transitional market where like, there was a point where during COVID, like no inspections, cover appraisal gap, like contracts were kind of easy because it's like, here, take my money. And then when that started to fade away a little bit and you started to get into negotiation on inspections and things like that, like how you write a contract really changed. And it was really important what you put in, make sure that it was understood by both parties and not just, like then it comes back and it bites you.
Yep.
And EO insurance doesn't always cover you. So like, in a way, there's still legal aspects of what we do every day. And sometimes we need guidance on that too. So,
I bet that helps I mean, I know you're already an analytical guy, but I bet being tight with your contracts helps you do both things because you're not constantly scrambling to fix something.
Yeah. If you were the average agent, I hate using that word. If you were a typical agent, most of them that lean very high, I and D are just, well, Nathan, I'll pick on him. If he was here, I'd say this, like a hot mess, right? Like most of us wanted to just bring the paperwork back to a desk of somebody who was more astute, more analytical, and more caring about dotted I's and crossed T's. And to Brad's point, if that was you, it would be very difficult to get sleep, stay sane, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah. But the training that we have here offers to fill in those gaps too. So like, it's not like this is just, aha moments came to me. No, like, I mean, you have to seek the knowledge, and that's
Yeah.
what they taught us at school. It's
Yeah.
like, our motto was faith seeking understanding, but you can apply that to other things outside of faith. I mean, if you don't have the knowledge, there's a way to get it. We
Yes.
have the brokers calls on Mondays. We have contracts on Wednesdays and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. You got to show up to those things to fill that, because the contracts change every year too. So, or not every year, but like
Enough.
there's changes. you know?
Enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay in the conversation for sure. So, at what point where in the journey do you meet your wife?
So that must have been, so I broke my arm, and then that was like our first, like, as I was recovering.
He's like, I
Did
know what
she
house
break
I
your
was in.
arm, or did you?
I know what house I was in 2008, but I'm not sure when I met my wife.
Why not?
I was living in Newington.
Let's make sure to not get her the link.
Was it 2011? See, like she'll remember the April of whatever year it was that like was our first date. But I'm like, I gotta focus on I got birthdays I gotta remember. I'm one of 7, so I gotta remember those on top of my kids and my parents.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, no, it's the wedding date,
Yeah.
which I think is 2015. So it was before then.
You think?
No, I know it was. We had our 10-year anniversary.
I'll
That's
be
the
honest.
reason why I remember. It's a nice round number.
I did myself the greatest favor. Ours is 9696.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Now
If
I know all your
I mean,
passwords.
if I do forget that, it's time to walk Grandpa behind the barn and just thank him for his service at that point. But like, yeah, it was pretty easy.
9696. And then
Yes.
what are the year of your kids' birthdays? Because I'm already starting to figure out how to get into your computer by this
I
conversation.
love that. Good for you. Yep. 2005, 2006. Yep. Yeah. Anyway.
I know I'm just going to find a bunch of SpongeBob memes anyway. So
Probably. Yeah. Probably. So, where's she working at the time you meet her?
for the state, epidemiology at the state. So like there was a lot of aspect at that time too, before COVID, where she was working on West Nile mosquito surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they have like batches throughout the state where they test and they look for those infectious diseases that mosquitoes carry. And then it's outreach and communication and stuff. But during COVID, working for the state, everybody, it's all hands on deck on COVID.
Yeah.
Did a little bit with maternal, but mostly like around infectious diseases, a little bit of, food control, that comes in when like there's a big issue, like say a restaurant has like an outbreak of some sort of bacteria and people ate it, then same thing. So with the state, you're kind of playing a few roles, bouncing around. So not so different than what I do, So she's a Jill of all trades, right? So
So if we see the car loaded up driving by, we know to leave.
Well, and if you see the car with the dents in it because she still manages to back into my car in the driveway, then that's hers. Yeah. She's been publicly shamed for it many times.
I will top that one. It was Family Reunion 2014. Of course, we always get a storm around Family Reunion. I just put that out into the ether. And Janina had gotten back from wherever, and she's like, "Oh, I'll back in because we're going to throw his luggage in," because she was taking me to Logan. And she's in her MKX, and she backed into a parked house. Like, I'll just never give her the end. Like, and her license plate was all destroyed because she bounced off the side of the garage, then further into the garage, and also hit the Aaron's, which was my baby, like my big pro Aaron's. And I'm just like, "What happened?" She goes, "Well, I put your boots on." I'm like, "Just." Her feet are this big, like I'm 5'9", they're 10.5, but like she's swimming in those boots, hit a parked house. So we always give her credit for that one.
It's not the accident that's the best part. It's the explanation of why it happened. So my car was just behind hers, and it's like, so were you going too fast? No. Were you paying attention? Yes. It was like, both of those don't check out. I was like, there's zero chance both of those
One of
things
these
are true.
kids
And
is
then I
doing
go,
it.
well, I was like, yep. So it was one of those. It was like, and we have a backup camera. It's like, it's 2025 at the time. This was a year
bells
ago.
that ring.
Yeah, I know. Like sound effects go off, and those were all.
Well,
Just
Janina said to me, she
ignored.
goes, "How are we going to explain this to the insurance company?" I'm like, "We're not.
Yeah.
I'm not calling the insurance company to say my wife in our car hit our house." Like, nope. We're going to just fix the siding. The Aaron's was fine. It's a tank, and her license plate was dented for the rest of forever. It's a great story. It should remind me, I was turning the car around to make it easier for you to get your luggage into the car. I know, dear. I know. I appreciate that.
Next time, just leave the tailgate open, speed in reverse, and slam on the brakes, and we'll all just fall out.
So good. So good. So are you both working from home in her role now? Because I know you're home.
Yeah, I have
For
to still
Liberty.
go in though.
Okay.
I'm in the office, so yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
going
When
in.
did? All right. So last time we talked about this, you were working from home quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And it's still the majority of time is working at home. Yep.
And the Dover campus is gone, so you're Portsmouth now.
Yep.
Okay.
Which what did they turn in Dover into?
Well, they
heard mixed-
sold it, right? They
Yeah.
sold part of it.
Was it Brady Sullivan that got?
Oh,
part
I
of
think
it?
I think Brady's now supposedly grabbing it, right? But
Okay.
didn't they sell a division of Liberty to like a different financial company? I forget who it was.
So Lincoln
It was
always
Lincoln.
had space there.
Yeah.
Okay. It was
but
Lincoln,
they
that's
never
right.
owned it. They might have bought some of that building to
Yeah.
kind of deal with it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's gone. It's Portsmouth. Yep.
Yeah. So what's your usual schedule? I'm just trying to paint the picture for the agents that are listening and thinking, how does he make all this happen? Because
Yeah, I mean, my weekends are like gone, and then after work, it's like, yeah, I mean, you have to be really good at time management, right? That's something that we've always talked about.
yeah,
Automation is your friend. There's
Yep.
things that can be automated and things, so having a tech background, I can simplify processes, having templates, which a lot of that I learned from other agents too, is that, you have that stuff ready to go. You're just in Dotloop, and DocuSign makes all the paperwork part easy. And I have a rhythm. It's like, hey, and another agent kind of mentioned this to me too. It was just like, I'm diligent about that brokerage relationship disclosure right off the bat. I was like, I really won't have a detailed conversation without sending that over and explaining it first. So that's my pattern, is like, I don't care if you're in a rush, and you just like, I just need to get to see this house. It was like, I still need to send this to you.
Mhm.
I was like, cause it's my butt.
Yep.
So yeah, I have a system. That's the best thing you can do, is just develop that over time and fine tune it. Always look at it. I'm always looking for ways to optimize the efficiency that I run on. And, it's as simple as like grouping showings together. I mean,
Sure.
And like when I'm coaching baseball, there was a day where we were playing against your son's team. I showed up and work close was coming from an open house. We played a game against Brad's son's team, and I left for another open house.
Like,
Sure.
I was going to say that him saying his weekends are gone. He's still volunteering to coach in
Yeah,
town.
absolutely. Yep.
He runs by my house regularly.
Yep.
That's
he's-
just so I can eat pizza, though.
Yeah.
They're really like, the
Yeah,
running
we're not getting ready for Boston
Yeah,
again, are we?
You're still doing
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, now I'm on the Lamprey River board for baseball. I'm like their tech guy, like, helping out with like social media and stuff. I'm on the Nottingham Youth Association board, helping with similar stuff there, but just like piecing holes wherever, because I'm there anyways. But yeah, I mean, like, and some of that stuff's done at 8:00 at night in front of the computer. Like I am sleeping, to your point, like you gotta blow out the candle at some point. And I totally do. I prioritize my kids the best that I can, knowing that sometimes there's challenges with that, but it can't be often, so maximize your time. And when you have downtime, that's idle time, you could be doing something. So instead of scrolling through Instagram, I'm like, okay, what can I read about? What technology can I like read about today or something? Like if I have a few minutes, like then I'll maximize that time. But that's, that takes training to be in that mindset all the time.
Yeah.
So,
For you getting started, what did lead gen look like? Because obviously, all veteran agents, it's going to morph over time. You're going to start to get reciprocal stuff coming back to you.
yeah.
So when you were getting started to get your name out there, because obviously Biberty was full time.
Yep.
How did you weave it into conversations? How did you get to a point that it became a constant?
Yeah. Being without kids, it was a lot easier. I'll tell you that much. And dad didn't help. I got
Now they all have T-shirts that they wear to school that says "Dad's behind his goal."
Yeah. Dad did give me one lead when I started, and I worked that one pretty hard. I got a buy and a sell out of that, but nothing else. He went commercial, so like he was kind of detached from that, and I learned it on my own. I did a lot of social networking, sports, things like that. So before kids, like I was playing dodgeball, we were playing volleyball. There was like cornhole leagues. You go to a bar and stuff, and like. And you're casual, like, and I've seen like some of the like the big time pros talk about how they lead gen in a conversational space. So my comfort zone is like networking places, that aren't like specifically designed for networking. Like I'm not going to a networking event, but I am going to a restaurant. I am going to a bar. I'm going to a game or something. And one of the things that they said one of these big real estate pros, and it's arguably true, is when you start up a conversation, get into an agreement on something, but also maybe have a disagreement on something too, to show that you're not just like totally fake and just a yes person the entire time. So you know that can work.
So do you go to right to politics and religion?
Yeah.
Just to lay the land.
I think organically it falls into place, but follow-ups help. It doesn't have to be the first conversation. It can be the second or the third. Like people do ultimately, you know, want to get to know you and vice versa. So it's not something you just need to shove down their throat. Be like, oh, by the way, here's my card. You know, I don't even carry cards anymore.
I love that
and
about
at the beginning I had cards, but you know, and now it's word of mouth references. Like that's where I get it from. Like, oh, I worked with Nate. You know, here you go. I got a listing presentation this week from a friend of a friend. So, you know, that's how it happens now. But at the beginning, it was just going out there and being social. Like you got to just put yourself out there, and eventually you're catching people at the right time. Like somebody that I sold land for, it was somebody I played dodgeball with. I mean, that was a build of what, 10, 12, 13 years. Like, so it went 13 years ago, dodgeball to now I'm selling
a lot of
land.
torn meniscus, but you got the deal, damn it.
Yeah. Right. So like, I mean, that's a long pipeline, but staying connected, you know, is important in that regard.
Yeah.
So
now you're Monday through Friday at Biberty, right?
Yep.
Your nights, you might be doing a run past Brad's house.
Yep.
Weekends, it's sports with the kids. Number 4 is on the way. How do you and the wife take care of each other? How do you make sure that you have downtime? Like,
date nights.
Okay, talk to me about that. And it's funny.
Nights.
I remember starting at KW and going to Family and Mega, and all these top producers are on stage, or Gary or anybody was on stage. And they're like, you got to make sure, you know, you're taking time to have date nights. And I used to sort of roll my eyes like, oh, we see each other all the time. But now we're really purposeful about it because it does get away from you for sure, right?
Yeah, your time's valuable. You know, to pay a babysitter, man, they make a lot now.
They're doing
like
so good.
$25 an hour.
Yep.
But, you know, my kids kind of suck sometimes. So, you know, that's probably worth it. But my time's more valuable than that. So it's everything for me. And I'm, again, the analyst in me, everything is a value proposition.
Sure.
What's this worth? Is my time worth that? Okay, I bring my trash to the dump because I don't mind it and I have the time for it.
Yeah.
But I don't mow my lawn. I pay a kid $60 to do that. You're paying a babysitter, you know, $20, $25 an hour, which is a lot. When you're handing them like $125, you're like, how did we get to this place?
It's more than dinner was.
Yeah.
Especially without the kids, it's like, oh my god, $50 for dinner, like this is insane.
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
guys just drove through Dairy
like
Queen and ate in the
us.
car crying, and you're paying the babysitter $150.
You know, my time's more valuable than that, so like you do have to spoil yourself in that way, and like it doesn't always have to be a babysitter. It can be a family member or something. If you have that luxury. Which is really nice luxury to have, of not having to pay for a babysitter, but we try not to like overdo it. Like 3 kids is a lot. And soon to be 4.
Sure.
I mean, date nights are important. We don't always get there. Going from 1 to 2 was probably the worst. I don't think we quite got it. I think we were in this lull of like 1 kid's super easy, and then you bring in another in the equation. You're like, wow, I really don't like you. And it's because we're just not spending time together. So we learned that hard lesson.
Yeah.
And thankfully we got through that because, you know, that could have went awry really quickly.
Yeah.
Is then the value proposition is like, what is our time worth? It was always what my time's worth. Now it's what our time is worth.
Yeah.
So date nights are key, but you know, our date nights are stupid. Like we'll go to Target. Just like, we can just go here and we don't have to hear a kid say, I want Dunkaroos.
Yeah.
And just like pulling shit off the shelf and all that
just
stuff.
an adult conversation.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So like, I mean, we'll do that, but like, I mean, the other at the gala, that was a date night. We left early, you know, and we hung around, got to hang out with like Ezra and some of the other friends that I saw there, and I saw you, and then we went over to Cafe Med where we used to go all the time, you know, when we were younger and living in Newington.
Yes.
So we had a little date night out of it, and we still were back by like 9:30 or something.
And it only cost you $375.
Yeah. I know that was well, we ate at the bar and we kept it. We were like quick and simple, so it wasn't too bad. You know, but
I was just talking about the babysitter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then after that, the total was probably somewhere around like like it's borderline half a C note there or something. So
good times. You talked about being systematized. Obviously, you're super analytical.
Yep.
I have to imagine with the advent of AI over the last handful of years, you must be implementing that in what you do at Biberty, what you're doing with your real estate. Like, how much do you utilize that And how much have you probably done more than the average bear with AI?
Yeah, so with AI, I've used some of the baked-in Adobe tools recently where it can itemize things from PDFs to make it easier to translate it into like a Excel table for further analysis to break it down, so I can do different things with it. Like a project that I was working on. This one wasn't real estate related, but I consumed a PDF, I turned it into a table, and then I ran it against like conditional logic of like if then else to kind of break things apart into like little buckets and pass out analysis that way. For the real estate side, a lot of the business intelligence software is getting smarter and smarter. So I mean, the real place to be is like, and we'll probably be there hopefully in the next like 3, 4, 5 years, depending on where quantum computing goes. But you want to have the analysis done for you. I'm still doing a lot of the analysis to get to the result that I want. Real estate can sometimes be a little bit more subjective than what the analysis leads. So you always have to leave a certain percentage of that. So while I use it, I don't think everybody subscribes to like over analyticalness. It's just for me, like it helps give me almost like a standard deviation, a threshold of like, here's a high, here's a low. Maybe you're somewhere in between. And that's what my analysis suggests. And then it validates what my subjective mind says, because sometimes I'll walk into a house and I'll be like, yeah, this is like this ballpark. And then I'll do the analysis to then either justify or be like, oh, I was surprised I forgot about this house that had sold recently or there. But the AI isn't quite there yet with the full business analysis, but with some of the right tools, you can kind of like feed it an MLS dump of a CSV file and kind of spit out a bunch of details about it. I mean, you can write your own CMA scripts, like, which is kind of what I do. Like I'll use the baked in tools on Prime MLS and in Maine as like, for me, it's like there's Zillow's Zestimate, then there's like the CMA features baked in, and then there's mine. Or sorry, I'm doing this backwards. Zillow, the baked in, and then there's mine, which is like it's curved a little bit more towards things that I find value, and I get feedback from my clients on it. It's like, hey, now that I presented this, does this make sense? So I've used it mostly for that. I think there's other ways that you can use it for task orientation, like reminders. I've started playing around with Google Tasks and Gemini a little bit to kind of be like, you need to follow up. You need to do this. Like, that helps people tremendously. I think if any place that they do it, task orientation would be huge. And the other stuff is, I feel like that's just me because I'm super analytical. I don't think everybody subscribes to that.
Do you have one that you've gravitated to the most, that you use the most, or do you have one that you prefer for your work at Biberty and one you prefer for social stuff at home and one you prefer for real estate?
Yeah, so for real estate, I love exporting the CSVs from the MLS systems and putting it through some of the tools that I built for business analysis to give me the output. Like I can quickly, be like, now I understand. Like this is what value is here, whether it's a buyer or a seller. And this is, it gives me the details of like, it's this town or it's this group of towns or it's this bedrooms across or it's land or things like that. Like I can quickly get to a synopsis of like what's happening. And then I even pulled an API from like mortgage rates so that I can just be like, now take in like you can never have enough data. So like now combine that with like where mortgage rates are going like too. So like one of the analysis that I did recently on a condo was like, they were looking at a house that sold 2 years ago for like 350 and the values were really coming in closer to 3. And I had to like, add that as like a flavor of like, hey, you also need to consider like where interest rates were at the time and stuff like that. Interest rates were super low. And like now they were like a 1.5 points higher. So I had to compare it a little bit more to give it a little bit more context.
Sure. So. Do you have a favorite of like Perplexity, Claude? Like out of all of them, Gemini, ChatGPT?
I've been playing with Claude a little bit recently. Gemini, I haven't too much. ChatGPT is great for descriptions and stuff, so we've used it for that. And I've heard that from lots of agents. Like, it just, you do have to, and again, like, and if you haven't heard it, you should hear, is like, you still have to review it.
1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, the adjectives that they use are sometimes way less genuine than you want it to be, and they don't sound like you.
Correct.
Yeah. So I go through, I mean, you have to review stuff. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can maybe conquer that problem for people that are heavy users, because it really does start to learn you.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing on stage, Jay Bear, who's on stage quite a bit for family reunion and stuff. We'll probably see him in Atlanta because Gary seems to bring him back. Too much, Gary, too much. Anyway, he said the numbers in our heads need to be 20, 60, 20. It's like 20% is the prompt you give it. 60% is the heavy lifting the machine does. And then 20% you have to go back and humanize it.
Yeah.
And Cody Gibson from International doubled down on that. He's like, we're going to be more successful as an industry if we are being human with more humans more often.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I think, and Brad said this a while back, and it's so true. I think we have a lot of tools at our disposal, and there's a lot of tech, and there's a lot of bullshittery out there. It's going to be the relationships. You can get the ball all the way down the field to the 1 yard line with a lot of the tech and the leverage, but it's going to be your human relationships. It's Brad down the hall. It's Ryan down the hall. It's Jenny Kopp. It's, you know, your inspector. That's going to be the stuff that always gets it done. So I think a lot of people are like, oh no, everything that I'm working with is digital. It's like at some point you have to involve a heartbeat. And somebody local. Like that's the benefit of Brad is like, if you're really mad at him, you can go down and kick him in the face. I mean, I'd have to get on a chair, but you know, like he's here to be yelled at, not just somebody off in a building or off in a cloud or a server getting water poured on it. Have you heard that? If they're trying to make us feel bad now. One of our agents, I was in a conversation over a month ago. She's like, I won't use AI because I heard how many gallons of water they have to go through a day to cool the servers.
Yeah, that's my wife was talking about that.
And I'm like,
she was freaking out about it.
I was like, I'll sleep fine.
She was telling me like communities are like trying to restrict them from putting the stuff in place and whatnot. I was like,
well, you see what China's doing is they're putting their servers in the ocean to use the cooling of that. I mean, ultimately, that's kicking the can down the road in terms of like now you could heat up the temperature of the ocean, but you know, China tends to not care about that stuff anyways.
Yeah. Yes.
So like, yeah, I mean, you've even seen it with the stock market this week in terms of like AI reflexes to, you know, there's obviously a lot of factors into that transition, but you know, the way that we consume it is super important. So, you know, use it diligently, not carelessly. Like some of the programs will limit you to prompt tokens and stuff anyways. So, you know, there's that protection, but man, you can really take something that probably would have taken you days and make it easier.
It's a great piece of leverage for most people.
Yeah. My oldest she's living at home this semester. She came home and she was like, I was just talking about AI lying to her. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I caught her like one night. She was like doing something and she was like literally yelling at the AI. She was like, you're lying to me.
Hallucinations, like, right? So they call it hallucinations in it. What I found, I think that with, you know, the comparison of Claude is that sometimes it will just say, I don't know. And maybe you want that answer. So playing around with the different, you know, engines will definitely assist in terms of like, that leading or misleading that you get with it. You do have to have some individual thought put into the process.
Well, a whole bunch of talking heads from different, I haven't heard them drill down on anything in particular, but talking heads from all over the place have said AI eventually wants you to be happy with it.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you what you want to hear at some point once it learns you enough. So that's another cautionary tale for sure.
Force an answer.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So like it has a size and fit for place, you know, where you want to be, but you know, the power is there. We just need to get more efficient about how we use it. So and how we supply the energy that consumes it.
So I mean, when's the wife due?
June.
I'm sorry. When are you both due?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's be honest.
So what is
I'm the diaper changing guy. Like that's
June. Okay. I was going to ask you, but go ahead.
You've got what at this point? You've got boys, girls.
Oh, so my oldest is a boy. Then
2 girls and a boy, right?
Two girls. Yeah. Yep. And then this will be the third girl. So.
We know. Okay.
I have 5 sisters, so it's totally cool. You know, it's like,
are you going for 7?
No, we're definitely not. Yeah, I mean,
well, Kaylee and I were talking about the fact that you were so proud of the fact that you real estate money paid for your wedding and your honeymoon. Now you have 3 more weddings coming up.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're finishing the 3rd floor, so like.
Dear AI, what is the cheapest wedding possible that my daughter won't be mad at me?
There you go.
Oh my God.
I mean, it would probably answer. It's like go to McDonald's, take a bunch of photos, and like advertise McDonald's, and then you'll get like, you know, what do? They send out here's a plane voucher, here's this, here's a lifetime supply of, you know, Happy Meals. Yeah.
So what's the plan for you? Like, have you already started to re-engineer what your year, what your day, what your career with real estate is going to look like? Because there's going to be a little bit of an emotional pull to be home. Obviously, now there's 5 heartbeats waiting for you. So I know that's in play. Above and beyond that, what is, and I know you're not even close, but what do you think the end game is for you? Like, do you keep doing real estate when you park Liberty Mutual? Do you park them both at the same time?
Yeah, you know, I'm still at a point where I don't have an answer. I don't have a plan. But I am better at saying no to things.
Yeah.
I can just send a referral. You know,
Yeah.
I will gladly do the referral in some cases of like I'm overextending myself and I've had to pull that cord. That's the great thing about having tons of agents here that I have good relationships with, is that I can just offer it up, you know, as
Yeah.
long as it's within this area. If it's like down in Florida, a different story, right? You know,
Yeah.
but we have a platform for that. And I always do, you know, warm transfers. I call those agents down in Florida or North Carolina, I like have a conversation, size and fit, and then pass the person over and still, you know, give them the opportunity to deviate from there, you know. But yeah, I'll push it off to a referral. Like my time is mine. And when I feel like I'm overextended, and then I will, like, you know, sometimes that's hard to do that check-in. I feel like
Sure.
Carolyn's a good check on that too, of like, you're too busy, you know, so. Yeah.
Well, and I appreciate you said that, because you talked earlier about you're getting better at saying no.
Mhm.
You know, younger agents, newer agents, we'll talk about. They're like, yeah, well, I see them and they're moving so quickly. I'm like, okay, but step back, think about the revenue that agent's bringing in.
Yep.
So, and they've proven to themselves that they can replicate that over, do these activities, make more money.
Yep.
And successful people are being efficient with their time. They're investing their time, not spending it, because they can't make more.
Yep.
So what I always see agents do is like, okay, well, I'm doing this, or I'm utilizing AI, or I'll get this piece in here for leverage, and I got 17 minutes back, and they rush to fill that 17 minutes with more real estate. You know, and I know this sounds crazy coming from a productivity coach, but like, go take a nap. Go get your hair did. Like, go be with your boyfriend or girlfriend or partner. Like, so you've got to obviously move forward. Shots fired. Yeah, we're gonna do the reveal later. What you haven't seen under the beanie is the lettuce. We're gonna show you Nathan's lettuce later. I think. Yeah, we might do a reveal. Yeah, you've got to be weighing that moving forward, because everybody always talks about work-life balance, which is bullshit. Right, like it's a counterbalance. You wake up today.
It's a suggestion.
Yeah,
right?
you wake up today and
daily dosage.
Yeah, but again, I have to imagine with the growth of your family now, it's obvious that you're, you know, okay, I'm going to work with this many clients, but if I don't have more clients than my family, that's okay. Back when you guys were just young and single and married, no children, you're like, oh, I need more clients. You're like, I don't know if I want more buyers than babies, you know, like that won't be good for your mental, I don't think.
The juxtaposition that newer agents will go through too is that you're going to be working with a lot of buyers. Like, I mean, I'm making an assumption there. I feel like that assumption's valid, that it's probably more buyers than listings. And that can be hard in the market that we're kind of always in this tug and pull in with now of like, oh, it's kind of like leaning towards buyers. Nope, just kidding. Rates drop. You know, everybody that took their foot off the gas pedal between October and December last year, which they totally did, because I saw them all come out in January and I'm like, wow, you guys, like, you missed the opportunity of that like last quarter where you might have gotten a deal. It's, I mean, for the right house in the right neighborhood in the right market, like, good luck. And now it's a bidding war. And so if you're working with 7 buyers, that's a lot. So like, you might not be able to take your foot off the gas pedal right now, but those buyers will turn into listings later. Not that that makes it easier, but you know, you do have to have a little bit of a different drive there of like, you might have to push yourself a little bit more than I'm pushing myself now. Yeah, because my life circumstances change. I've found, you know, what's important to me, where my time is best well spent, and I will take a little bit off, you know. But I still think new agents do need to take a break as well and stuff, but I think you naturally have to push yourself a little bit harder, because you're fighting against the competition, which is people with more experience.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this to, I mean, any of our agents that have just landed, and I'll pick on the group that's in their 20s, like I say unapologetically, like, said with love, you're in your eat shit season. Like, this is when you can afford to work really late and go 8 days straight and all that. Like, you know, especially if there's not, the only commitment is making sure Mittens gets fed in the morning before you leave the house. Like, this is your eat shit season, because you're going to get to a point where there's a spouse or a partner at home, and there's short people, and there are bigger commitments. At the same time, for you, what are you guys doing? Because I think this is important. And I remember the Papasans were here, and Jay and Wendy were talking about this. What do you guys do? What are some things that you do at home just to save time? You talked about having the kid mow the lawn for 60, but you're willing to do that, as opposed to having all the things done for you. What are some time-saving things you've found as a dad, as a couple, that anyone could apply to their home life just to make that they're not going home to work on the house or whatever, like some other things they could lift off their plate?
Yeah, meal prep is big, especially during baseball season and stuff. I try to, like, Sunday nights, I'll sit down and I'll plan a grocery list for the week ahead. I'll itemize the days, what we're having. If it's a viral recipe, I'll have a link to like the Instagram or something, because I love cooking. For me, it's like me time, but I also worked in a kitchen. So if you see me in the kitchen, I look like a psychopath. I won't talk. I'll be washing dishes and doing things. She's like, why don't you want to talk about your day? It's because I'm cooking.
The one I just saw on TikTok, I get so much flack because I'm a TikTok chick. The one I just saw on TikTok that I cannot wait to make, it's going to be horrible because I'm not that good off the cuff. Somebody came up with like a dumpling lasagna. So picture like an Asian dumpling, but you just layer the noodles and the pork and the, look it up.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And at the same time, like when I'm doing meal prep, I have to combat this person doesn't like peas in their fried rice. This person
you're doing 9 different meals.
Yeah, so I'm like kind of deviating, but that's what keeps me sane. Like, and late at night, I'll probably do a little bit. So like I'll either make like a bread or like if I'm at the office the next day, that means I'm probably getting home at like 5 or 6 o'clock. So like, how am I going to cook dinner with like 2 tubby times mixed in and all that stuff? Like I need to kind of have it done. So like we did fried rice. So, and if you make fried rice, it's day old rice is the best.
Yes.
So I cooked that the night before. It goes in the fridge. You just kind of throw shit in a pan at that point, and like there's like butter, there's other
what's in here, everything.
Yeah, there's other stuff in there, and then it's the piecing out thing. So meal prep saves me a ton of time because I like cooking. I don't like eating out all the time because eating out is wicked expensive.
It's
like
it's
I honestly can't afford it.
Through the roof.
It's insane, and I pride myself in like being able to make things as much as I can from scratch, but deviating from recipes where I see fit to keep the efficiency of like 30 to 45 minutes tops.
Okay.
Meal prep saves a ton. And honestly, like when you think about going out, it's like I get home, then we got a 15, 20-minute car ride. Then we sit down, takes a little bit to order. Kids are probably going to ask to be on electronics.
I was just going to say, you skipped the whole part of getting everybody out of the car, into the restaurant, and then back, situated.
And then it's past their bedtimes. And it's just like, what the heck? Like, what did I really gain from this experience other than saving myself the trouble of like cooking? Like, I'll just like, that may make my night a little bit longer to prep for ahead. I don't do the Sunday prep for the entire week. That's like impossible for me. I get like a day ahead or something. But if I make like a soup, kids won't eat it. I cut it in half. I put some in the freezer, and then it's like, hey, it's a kids' night where they're gonna eat either the soup or it's gonna be a PB&J because they're picky. You know.
Yep.
So this is for us at this point. It's back to like me and Carolyn of like, we're cooking for ourselves and we're gonna enjoy it. You know?
So we've got a lot of agents, obviously, that they're Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, like their professional commitment with their other company is just locked and loaded. They might also, and a lot of them are in a position where if Xfinity, I'm not picking on anybody in particular, but like, let's say Xfinity, if they found out that they were ever taking a text or a phone call at their desk from a client for real estate, it would be over with.
Yep.
I know there's a inordinate amount of grace with you at your company because they know that you're helping people in the company buy, sell, and invest, but obviously you're very respectful of your time when you're there.
Yeah.
How do you make that make sense? How are you, like, everybody just knows you're not talking to them until 5 o'clock? Because that can be a huge challenge with the humans because they have this burning question. We joked at the top of the call, like basically there's no emergencies in real estate. Calm down.
Yeah. You know, I'll take time off like as I need it. Most of my time off is for inspections, closings, things like that. So I just really respect my time there. And I'm able to manage it through that. Like, I mean, if there's an emergency, then I'll, figure that part out, but I just take time off.
Talk to me about time off. What do you guys do?
So,
and will you do something this summer? Or is it all about number 4 coming?
No, we'll get some time off to go on like a vacation and things like that too. It's not all real estate focused, but for the baby coming and stuff, there's gonna be, I'm not gonna be working a whole lot during that period. I'm just gonna be trying to stay awake when I need to be awake.
Yep.
It's like you get up in the middle of the night and you're like, what time is it? Don't look at the clock. Don't look at the clock. Don't look at the clock. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson. It was like, oh my goodness, it's 2. Now it's 2:01. It felt like it should be 4 by now.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many times have you guys moved since you kept building the family?
No, we've been in the same neighborhood.
Have
We
you?
stayed.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Nottingham. I
Yeah.
love the community.
Well, I mean,
I'm really baked into there. Yep, Brad's
yeah,
down
the
the street.
mayor, the mayor.
Yeah, he gets to see me come up that hill on
That's
the
okay.
run.
He still gets to see my Christmas lights. So.
Yeah, yep. Keeping them up, baby. Keeping them up.
Yeah, which this year I think there were some changes to them. It looked like they expanded a little bit. I'm not sure, but I more so love coming up for Halloween because I know he's going to be at the hill, so I can bring out the kids and stuff like that. And Rachel was there not this past year, but the year before.
Yeah.
So
Rachel.
I get to bump into some other people and stuff. But yeah, we haven't had to move. We just now need to. We're lucky that we have a walk up. Like you have a walk up and yours is finished, so our third floor is a walk up, and we're just finishing off.
Wow. So is everybody gonna have their own room?
No, there's still going to
Okay.
be some room sharing going on there.
Okay.
But we need another room.
Yeah.
And it gives us like office space too.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thinking about the year that we're in now, when I talked to you a little while back, I texted you in the middle of a career night because we obviously have a lot of people coming on with
that's
questions about getting started. And I'm like, hey, if you have time, can you share your numbers? And I remember you fired back and you're like, it was a little bit of a down year. I think you helped 9 families.
Yeah.
And
it's around 9 or 10.
whatever you were doing. And I just laughed because you're like, it's a little bit of a down year. Like people would be thrilled to help 9 families.
Yeah.
And they're threatening to be full-time. So
Yeah.
What's your vision for this year? What are you most excited about with real estate and the opportunity in front of you?
There's been kind of similar to last year. It's been listing heavy conversations to start off the year, which is nice. Because I feel like that positions you in an advantage where you always still need to consider that you can potentially take on new clients by having a listing. So that I could get buyers out of that. So that's always exciting for the year ahead. And then interest rates are in a decent spot, so there's going to be activity. I mean, not everybody's financing, and I see that come across in offers, but you have to expect the majority of people will because prices are still very high, for what they were compared to back in the day. I'm excited for that for the year ahead to keep it another stable year of like that, around 10 families to help number. So
you talked about the listing conversations for last year for the 9 or for your average year. Are you historically listing heavy?
It bounces around year to year. It kind of depends on how the conversation flow comes in and how the leads come in by word of mouth. So it depends on where they're at in their journey. But yeah, I guess I would expect most years to be 50-50.
Okay.
But last year was maybe more like 70 listing side. This year is already starting off 4-1 on the listing side. So
if we threw up a pie chart, how much of that comes from, and I know this is tough to trace because obviously you've been at Biberty for a while. So, but how much of it could you blame on Biberty Mutual and your relationships there?
There's almost zero, none of it. I don't solicit at all. Yeah.
Okay.
He's in IT. They don't like him.
Yeah.
He's locked in a closet. Just
yeah. I mean, it being in the business long enough, the buyers are turning into sellers.
Sure.
And those sellers are also probably buyers. So,
yeah.
That's been an advantage. And then the word of mouth has been consistent too. So that's been good.
Okay.
Yeah.
This whole time, has it only been you? Did you ever have a VA or any sort of
only me
assistance? Yep. How did you, do you think, and watch out because I'm coming for your ego. Yep. Do you think it's because you wanted to control everything or just because you never hit a critical mass where you couldn't handle it? Because I know obviously what you want to be like, no, I'll dot the I's, I'll cross the T's. That can always be a challenge.
Definitely hit spots where I couldn't handle it, but I figured it out. But they come in waves, right?
Okay.
What is it? April showings bring May closings.
Yeah.
Is the slogan that we used to go by. So that period of time is still very true that is a very heavy spring market at that point. So, that can always make me feel like my head's cut off, and it's the middle of baseball season too. So trying to work around coaching and stuff like that can be challenging.
Yeah. Brad talked about running. What's the last race you did?
I don't even know. My friends and I do this thing we call native soil circuit where we'll run in a location where one of the person lives and we just kind of race each other.
Okay.
That's probably the closest thing. There was a half marathon a couple years ago or something, but I'm mostly doing 3 to 5 miles now. That's all I really have time for.
Do you go out in the morning?
Lunch. I'm a lunch runner.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you find the most beneficial about that? I mean, obviously it has its health benefits, but from the neck up.
In the winter, you're getting the sunlight, so that's key. And you're getting outside. I think that helps prevent getting sick too, by breathing in that cold air and non-recycled air from the office. That always helps. But yeah, it's really the only time I can get out.
How much coaching do you do?
For baseball?
Yeah.
I always try to position myself as an assistant coach and not a head, so that I can really be the best assistant. So anything IT related, they got covered. So like scheduling, sending out like email, like things and stuff to parents.
Are you in charge of the Huddle account?
And I'm like the best friend too, right? Like of the kids. I'm like, hey, how can I make
you get to be good cop,
head coach easier, right? So like show up and try to help out with field prep and let them be the coach and just kind of fill in all the gaps in between. And like when the kids are misbehaving, like gather them around, like, and then just be a person to be like, all right, you take 5 kids, I take 5 kids. And then we'll, train them in whatever, baseball mechanics that we're working on at that time. So yeah, I think an assistant coach, what I strive to be is the best assistant coach that I can be to support what the head coach's goals are.
Obviously your goal is to be efficient when you're playing in real estate because you've got so many other things going on. What's the most fascinating, and I'm rather than saying annoying, but what's the most fascinating thing you see veteran, emerging and new agents do on a regular basis that's an easy fix? Like, how is this still happening? Because you jump over from Liberty and being a dad and a husband, and you're like, okay, I got 17 minutes. And you're like, and this person's full time. You're like, how is this still happening? Like, what's one of the things that happens in the industry that still gnaws at you that you'd love to see go away?
I mean, I see the failure to read contracts all the time. Like, it was like the curse of just throwing it in dot loop and throwing a signature line on it, like, has burned the other side before.
Sure.
Like when I've put things in there, I'm like, guys, this is what this means. Like, what are we even talking about here? Did you read the contract? Did you check the closing date? Outside of that, like, I don't know, like nothing really annoying. Like, I mean, I don't mind it when like sometimes they're not there for showing or they're there. Like, I feel like there's pros and cons to that because sometimes like there's complicated nature of like a house that's an HOA or a condo association that has lots of meat to it. I don't know that well. Like, one was funny. I saw an MLS listing sheet in Exeter on a 0.5 or 0.3 acre of a lot that was somehow in current use. I was like, interesting. I don't know how that's possible, but I was like, it's not.
It's not. What had happened was,
yeah. I was like, the entry. It was like, did they think that it was currently being used?
Yes.
Like,
yep.
It was like, which it wasn't. It was vacant. It was like, so how does this even register?
Yeah. Even if you were right, you were wrong. Even though you were right.
Yeah. No, like nothing annoying. Like, I mean, you meet people and they all have different personalities, but you have the same goal. Sometimes you have to, extend your boundaries of where you are in terms of like helping a listing or a buying agent get you to the finish line. So you have to be a little bit supportive to the end goal, to that part, but still protect your client's interests to the best ability. But nothing like super annoying, and maybe that just entry and contracts. You know, again, it's a legal business, so paying attention to those things is important because they could be surprises for your clients later.
When you got started, your dad, Ron, was already at Keller, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So was it a no-brainer to just jump and join Keller?
Yeah. I mean, I had already known the crew over in the Metro office out of Bedford. Like, I knew them just from shadowing my dad and stuff. And because I did shadow him before I dove in, and I kind of would just be there in the car, listening, hearing things discussed, and kind of like a mentorship for a little bit. So like, I did get that experience as I wanted it. So it was more so on me. He's like, I'm not going to force you to come, but if you want to learn the business, like, here you go. Sure. And stuff. Yeah. So, that was good.
You've been at it for so long. You've got such a great reputation. I imagine people are calling you quite often to tell you to go play with them. So what keeps you here?
The education is key. I love having those options. I love the broker session on Mondays. Like, I mean, that for me is huge. And we have a great support system. It's nice to have the extension to ask, for certain contacts of like somebody that can fix something like a handyman or
Mhm.
whatever. Like
Mhm.
if it's an area that like my guy just retired out of, because that's happening too. So yeah, I mean, we have the resources, we have the flexibility, we have the coverage for Maine and New Hampshire, which is why I moved out of Bedford to begin with. They didn't have Maine coverage. They do now, but I don't see the need to move back. And this proximity to where I live is convenient too. But yeah, mostly like, I mean, it starts at education. Like I have those opportunities as I need them. And I have the support behind that to ask questions that are living in the gray, you know, which is like, you're always going to be confronted with something that you don't know, and you need to not be afraid to ask versus doing what AI does and just answer you.
When you got started, and I ask everybody this as we wrap up, when you got started, if you could go back and have a conversation with you on day one of your real estate career, what advice would you give yourself? Would there be something you would have done differently or been less afraid to just jump into?
I think it would be more so like positioning myself to, I like the investing side of real estate. It'd probably be to like find a way to network more around like investors. And I see this, I've noticed this from a couple other agents, from a couple other firms, is that they kind of get in on the rental side of like, hey, I'm going to work like property management and position myself so that when they do sell, that I'm probably the first name that they think of. And I was like, I think that's a smart move, you know, because rentals aren't sexy. Nobody wants to, you know, when you see them, they want to be on the listing side. Like how many buyer side reps on rentals do you see? I mean, maybe it's more than I know. I know down in Massachusetts, it's a different ballgame, but up here it's like, you know, so they position themselves on the rental side to get that in with the, you know, a Rolodex of, you know, network properties. That I think that would be the biggest thing. That's a great place to be. And I've seen other agents do that. You notice it because you see the flyers of like rental. And I'm like, oh, now it's a sale. And it's the same person that had the rental listing on. That was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. You know, so get to know like, you know, that side of the business. That would probably be the only thing I would do differently because I like that side. It's less emotional. Big time. I mean, maybe for some people it is, but it's more of a business transaction. I love the nature of like, this is what I want. If I don't get it, it's not going to work out.
Does the math. Yeah, for sure. Before we escape, are we going to get the reveal? You're going to show off the lettuce?
Oh yeah, the lettuce. Yeah, let's see a crazy professor here.
How long is it? Pull up the top.
We're going to do the stretch. Let's see. I think it's like, I mean, I don't know.
What's the longest you've ever grown it?
This is it.
Okay. The time I've known you, it's historically been like
it's been a 5
crew
4,
cuttish.
3.
Yeah, crew cuttish.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the longest that it's ever been, and I just, you know, it's been since August. I am gonna get it cut.
No,
it's just
commit to it. Just commit to it. Go.
Is she good with it? Does she want the pillow hair?
My kids say they're embarrassed of it.
No, just go full.
So I mean, this is like once spring comes around.
Your dad's in real estate. How does he look homeless?
Yeah, exactly. Where did Hobo Jesus come from?
Commit to it, man. Wait, don't cut it until the baby comes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Maybe I'll be like Samson. You know, just
let it fly. Let it fly. Awesome. Appreciate your time, Nathan Fredette. Thanks for hanging out. A lot of information for every one of our agents to learn from, for sure. Do you have any listings right now that you want to share?
Not yet, but I will have
Not yet.
But I will have some.
I've got some marinating. All right, just checking. And for referral purposes, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
They can call or text. Yeah. 603-303-0914.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, sir. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Go Pats.
Go Pats.
What are we laughing about, Bradley?
Kaylee just texted, boo. I thought it was a gender reveal.